Now real quick, before we even get into this video, we're aiming for 10,000 subscribers in the month of April. So do me a solid, hit that red subscribe button, turn on the channel notifications, hit that like button as well. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok at Bhlademyst. If you want to become a member of the channel, you can press that join button next to that red subscribe button or click the link inside the description. Throughout the video, cards are going to appear directly above me. You can click on those cards and it will take you to the other playlists we have on the channel. You can also just click on the channel, community tab, interact with me there, playlist, check out each and every single playlist. And then the more Bhlademyst section on the home is going to have my other YouTube channels as well. I hope you all enjoy this 50K budget team build that I did for all of you. Let's dive into it. Also, really quickly, before we even dive into the 50K budget team build, I want you all to be reminded that today is going to be the final day to actually send me a screenshot of your team in Diamond Dynasty for me to include in a video tomorrow where I rate your Diamond Dynasty squads and tell you where you can improve, if there is any room to improve as well. Now, without further ado, this time around, let's go. So let's jump right into building the squad with the 50K budget. One thing I want everyone to know is I did not include the bench inside the budget because bench players are the least important players out of your entire roster. What matters is the starting lineup, your starting rotation, and then your bullpen. The bench usually only gets one at bat per game, so therefore I did not include them. We're gonna talk about players that you can get for free, but if you didn't make the choice of getting them for free, you could pay for. There's a list that includes the prices of those players, and then there's a list that includes their prices as a zero, therefore allowing you to upgrade the team in other parts. But let's start with the catcher position. At the catcher position, you can get Yermin Mercedes. Now Yermin, he can be obtained for free if you do the first section of Tops Now moments. He is one of the choices inside the pack, so you can either get him for free or you can get him for roughly 4.2k. That is going to be the best budget catcher available inside the game, 100%, especially if you have a 50k budget. When we go to first base, I decided to go with Max Muncy, but you can't go wrong with Luke Voit either. I decided Max Muncy because he has a little bit of better fielding, and then the power numbers, they're almost identical to Luke Voit, except he has both above a 90. And then when you look at someone like Pete Alonso, Max Muncy is going to give you the same bang for your buck at a much lower price. And another beautiful thing about Max Muncy is he has a really good swing inside the game, so he plays above his attributes as well. We go to second base. For second base, I decided to go a little bit different. I added Gleyber Torres to the squad. Gleyber Torres, why? He is the best hitting second baseman inside the game in terms of budget beast. Now, of course, his fielding is something to look at and say, damn, he's going to be either A, not having that range that I would like at second base, or B, he's going to be bobbling a lot of balls. But that's the downside that comes with having such a great hitter. In my personal opinion, it's worth the sacrifice because when he gets a hold of a ball, he's going to make up for whatever it is he cost you. Trust me on that one. We go next to third base. Third base, the price is fantastic for this player. Eugenio Suarez. You get yourself a third baseman with good contact numbers, great power numbers, very similar to Max Muncy if you were to ask me. And then in the fielding and reaction, he's similar to Max Muncy as well. If you parallel him all the way up to 5, he's going to have silver fielding and his arm strength is going to be a diamond. So he has a great arm for third base, which is needed, and then he has the fielding and reaction for third base as well. So definitely one of the best budget options in my personal opinion. And as you can see, we have a ton of right-handed hitters inside the lineup. That's why at first base I went with Max Muncy, and at second base you can even go with Nate instead of Gleyber Torres, but Gleyber Torres is the better hitter by an overwhelming amount. Like, not even only looking at attributes. If you look at his swing inside the game, it's a really good swing that plays above his attributes. Trust me on that one. For shortstop is where we go and get ourselves into the more expensive range. And the reason we get into the more expensive range is because Marco Luciano, he is a shortstop that has everything you want. He is a fantastic hitter for the shortstop position. 75 fielding, that's silver fielding, but you get him to parallel 5, and that's gold fielding, which is more than good enough to play short. Has a great arm. Reaction at silver is also pretty good, and then the speed is a good speed for a shortstop as well. He is not available for free. He's only available through the Space 2 choice pack. So this is the first option that we have where we would be spending quite the amount of stubs, but he's gonna most likely be one of the shortstops that stays in your team for a long time until you get someone of a higher overall, or until you put a created player or a ball player at short, let's say, for example. Then for left field, it's gonna be Gurriel Jr. Gurriel Jr., you're gonna get him for roughly 1K. He's gonna have great contact numbers, great power numbers, especially against left-handers. He has a lot of secondary positions, but that doesn't really matter because we're going to be playing him at left field. His reaction is pretty good. Once you parallel him up to parallel 2, he'll have silver reaction, but we're just in love with his hitting numbers. And then the fielding is the downside that we can go ahead and excuse just for a bit, because at the end of the day, he's playing left field. Corner outfielders, you want big bats there. You do have options such as Yordan Alvarez, but when you look at Yordan Alvarez and you look at that common fielding and then common reaction, you're most likely not going to get any of the balls hit out there. So I always like having a little bit of extra range in left field and just having someone that can actually play that position effectively, because balls hit in the gap. A player like Yordan Alvarez can easily help the opponent stretch a double into a triple. A player like Lourdes Gurriel Jr. is going to maintain that to be a double rather than give your opponent either extra bases or extra runs due to misplays or bad reactions. Then we go to center field, and the outfield in general is going to follow this same rubric, where I'd like having players that have great fielding and can hit very well. Luis Robert, he's going to be just like Max Muncy, low contact numbers, great power numbers, and then what really attracts me to him, is the fielding and reaction. Both of them are diamond. Trust me, even though in the game it says his defense is silver tier, both of them are diamonds because they're above a 90. So he's going to have diamond fielding inside the game at center field and diamond reaction with 88 speed. Anything hit in the gap, you can best believe he's going to go there and get it. And it's going to help out the weaker corner outfielders that you have. Not right field though, because you'll see who we have at right field. He ain't a weak defender in general, but it's gonna help out Lourdes Gurriel Jr. having someone this quick and with such good fielding for balls in the gap as well. I would go with Luis, and because you will have Luis, if you really wanted to, you can make the sacrifice and get yourself Yordan Alvarez for left field. And then right field, we have none other than Joey Gallo. Now, why I said Luis wouldn't be helping the right fielder is because Joey Gallo already has diamond fielding, diamond arm strength, diamond accuracy, and diamond reaction. It doesn't get better than that. And then his power numbers are beyond the roof. He is a lot more like Pete Alonso than any other players, with power numbers nearly over 100 on both sides, or actually over 100 on both sides. Pete Alonso is the one that has it nearly over 100 on both sides. The contact numbers are going to create a very small PCI, but until you get into legend / Hall of Fame, it shouldn't really affect you too much. But Joey Gallo is definitely the budget beast that you want for right field. Trust me on that one. And then we go back to the starting pitchers, or we go to the starting pitchers in general. And let me open up the Excel sheet, because this is where we start having those options that, hey, you can get this player for free. And since you can get this player for free, you can go ahead and add this card instead, or add this card in addition to your starting rotation. So the first starting pitcher that I want you all to get, if you had to spend money on Yermin Mercedes, it's going to be Nathan Eovaldi. Nathan Eovaldi, he has a great arsenal, great attributes. You can get him for free through the first inning program. He's one of the diamond choice packs. You either pick him, Mark, or Nomar Mazara. I would pick Nathan Eovaldi 10 out of 10 times, unless you're grinding team affinities. If you're grinding team affinities, you can get a bench bat, but honestly, I would still pick up Eovaldi. After you pick up Eovaldi, the next available option is going to be Kenta Maeda. Now, why I like Kenta is the arsenal is one. His primary pitch is a slider, so that pitch is going to obviously be disgusting. And then it's a splitter, four-seamer, sinker, and curveball. So he has that arsenal that you want a pitcher to have. And all of his pitches, as you can see, especially the splitter, they have really good break. He is also a pitcher that's going to be a diamond candidate, not this update, but definitely in future updates. So his price is only going to go up, and he might turn diamond, so might as well go ahead and get a steal on him right now. Lance Lynn is going to be another starting pitcher that I like a lot. he has 3 fastballs, but he has the 3 fastballs you want in a pitcher, which is a 4-seamer, cutter, sinker, 12-6, and a changeup. That's the downside. Both of his off-speed pitches are relatively around the same speed, and at the same time, since they're around the same speed, they have the same movement, so that doesn't really help him out too much, but he's still a good bang for your buck to go ahead and get. And then after that, we have ourselves Mike Clevinger. Mike, he has another good arsenal. He has one of the 2 fastballs that you want every single pitcher to have, which is the 4-seamer, and then the cutter is probably your 3rd best fastball besides the sinker, so we'll take that. He has pretty good off-speed pitches, throws them all at different speed levels, so that's going to help him out a ton as well. And he's injured, so he can never go up or down in terms of overall. You're going to be straight having him inside the lineup because you're going to know what you're getting for him each and every single time. We're not done with starting pitchers yet. I don't know why I went over there. You also have, last but not least, Charlie Morton. Now, Charlie Morton, he has the 2 fastballs you want every single pitcher to have. He has that 4-seam, he has that sinker, and then when it comes to off-speed pitches, well, actually, he has the 3 fastballs because I just peeped the cutter. So the cutter coming in at such a lower speed than the other 2 fastballs is going to help out tremendously when it comes to throwing your opponent's timing off. Then he has the splitter and the curveball. Both vertical movements. I don't know if I said the 12-6 and changeup was horizontal, but those 2 were vertical as well. These 2 pitches are both vertical movements, but the differences in pitch speeds help him out a ton when it comes to mixing his pitches and his pitch speeds. Now, if you went ahead and got Nathan Eovaldi from the starting rotation or the Diamond Choice Pack from the first inning program, that's perfect because we're going to cancel out Lance Lynn. And instead of picking up Lance Lynn, you're going to make another heavy investment in addition to Nathan Eovaldi, and you're going to get yourself Matthew Liberatore. Now, once again, he has the 2 fastballs you want every single pitcher to have, and then he has the 3 off-speed pitches you want each and every single pitcher to have, which is a slider, changeup, 12-6, throws them all at different pitch speeds, so that's going to be amazing as well. Next up on the list, we're going to head on over to relievers. Now, a couple of these relievers, once again, as I stated previously, you can go ahead and get for free. The first reliever we have is going to be Chad Green. Chad Green, 12-6 slider splitter, 3 off-speed pitches, throws them, the slider and splitter, they both come in at the same speed, but the beauty of it is the slider is horizontal movement and the splitter is vertical movement, so that can really mess up a hitter's timing. And then the 12-6 being basically 4 miles per hour slower than the splitter also helps you out a ton. His fastball coming out at 96 allows you to blow one past the hitter. Definitely a great option to have in the bullpen, and that is one that I would suggest each and every single player to go with. Next up on the list is going to be Seth Lugo. Now, Seth Lugo, just like Chad Green, has a great arsenal. He has the 4th best fastball and the 2-seam 4-seamer. But if he had a sinker, it would have been a lot better. But you take what you get. You got 2 off-speed pitches around the same speed, slider horizontal movement, changeup vertical movement. So that's going to help you out a ton when it comes to mixing the pitch speeds and mixing the movement of pitches as well. Next up on the list is going to be, well, I don't know why I keep filtering. It's going to be Tyler Duffy. He has the 2 fastballs that you're looking for. The only downside to him is that the knuckle curve and the slider, both of them different movements, so that's a plus, but they come in at the same speed. That's the only thing that's not really a plus, because both of his fastballs come in at the same speed, both of his off-speed pitches come in at the same speed, so a hitter is gonna know if it's something hard, it's gonna come at the same speed. If it's something soft, it's gonna come at the same speed as well. So that's the only downside to him. He's actually one of the pitchers that I would suggest you go ahead and replace once we get to the other 2 free ones. So next up is going to be Taylor Rogers. Taylor Rogers, he's a lefty. You need some lefty bullpen arms, and Taylor Rogers is a great option because he has that sinker, 95 miles per hour. You can blow it past the hitter. Then he comes in with a slider and a sweeping curve. Now granted, both of them are horizontal movements. The sweeping curve at least has a bit more vertical movement than the slider, so that's going to help it out a ton. And then the speed differentials between the 3 pitches also help him out a ton. He doesn't throw anything straight, so the hitter is always going to be worried about the pitch movement. And then his attributes are also going to be pretty good. We're going to go to Chris Martin right after that. Chris Martin has just the arsenal that you're looking for. He has a sinker, a cutter, a four seam, and then a slider and a changeup. So he's gonna have the arsenal you want in your ideal bullpen arm. And then the speed differences between the four seam and the cutter, it's gonna be beautiful as well. The only downside is that he throws hard in nearly all his pitches, so your opponent isn't really going to be too fooled in terms of timing. But if you can mix that sinker cutter well, especially with that speed differential, you're gonna be good. If you can mix the sinker, slider, and changeup ball as well, you're gonna be straight. He's a great bullpen arm to have inside the pen. And then after that, we get ourselves the closers. We're gonna start off with Roberto Osuna. He's a free agent card. He's worth 1K stubs, and he's a steal. The slurve, great pitch. The changeup, even better pitch, especially with the speed differential. The four seam, it can blow past anyone. And then the cutter, it's gonna be a second fastball, but this time with movement, helps out a ton. Another great bullpen arm. And then last but not least, we have this silver Aroldis Chapman. He's gonna have, I believe, outlier on his first pitch, so even though it says 99 miles per hour, it's gonna be thrown at 101, 102, maybe even 103 miles per hour. And then he has two off-speed pitches with different movements, which is also a humongous plus. Now you can get him for free, and it's through the Battle Royale program. As you accumulate wins, you're gonna have a silver pack choice, and you can pick up this Aroldis Chapman. And then the last bullpen arm is gonna be Steve. He has a little bit of a funky delivery, which helps you out a ton. He has two of the best fastballs in the game. The only downside is all his off speeds are around the same speed, but he does have that vertical movement and horizontal movement. Now, if you get both Steve and you also get yourself Aroldis Chapman, and both of them are free cards, that allows you to also pick up or add, in addition, Lee Smith to the squad. Now, the beautiful thing about Lee Smith, who we see right here, is that he's also for free. So if you play ranked seasons, you can also get Lee Smith for free. And if you get Lee Smith for free, you're not gonna have to worry about either Seth Lugo on your squad, Tyler Duffy, and then you can also sit down most likely either Taylor Rogers or Chris Martin. The choice is gonna be up to you. Most likely going to be, if I had to choose for you, Taylor Rogers that you sit down. But these are the best teams that you can build with that 50K budget that you all voted on. I'm going to see what's the second highest option, and that's going to be the video for tomorrow. But if you did end up enjoying today's content, make sure you hit that like button, red subscribe button. Don't forget to follow me on all social medias at Bhlademyst. Become a member of the channel if you would like to, and have a blessed day and night. Stay positive, stay safe, stay blessed, and I will catch you all in the next one. Peace out.